Welcome to another show. Today we're going to look at one of the most underrated auteurs of horror and slasher cinema, the father of it all, Mario Bava. He was the maestro of Italian horror cinema. Mario Bava led the way for slasher films and horror films, modern versions of those genres. He influenced Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees, and Michael Myers. Filmmakers such as Tim Burton, Guillermo del Toro, Martin Scorsese even, were influenced by Mario Bava. He's an undisputed master of Italian cinema, best known for his innovative contributions to the horror and thriller genres. His career, marked by visionary artistry and technical ingenuity, transformed the landscape of European genre filmmaking and inspired generations of directors worldwide. From his early days as a cinematographer to his legacy as the father of Italian horror, Bava's life and work remain a testament to the power of visual storytelling. Mario Bava was born on July 31st, 1914 in San Remo, Liguria, Italy, and into a family steeped in artistic tradition. His father, Eugenio Bava, was a pioneer in special effects and cinematography during the silent film era, an influence that would prove decisive in Mario's own trajectory. Surrounded by the tools and tricks of cinematic illusion, Bava's childhood was filled with exposure to sketches, paintings, and the technical intricacies of film sets. Initially, Bava aspired to become a painter, and his youthful years were spent honing his artistic sensibilities. However, the economic realities of the era, compounded by the outbreak of World War II, led him to follow his father into the burgeoning Italian film industry. This transition from canvas to celluloid marked the beginning of a career defined by breathtaking visual style and inventive camera work. Bava's early work behind the camera began in the 1930s as he assisted his father and other leading lights in Italian cinema. He quickly developed a reputation as a skilled cinematographer, known for his ability to manipulate light and shadow to evoke emotion and atmosphere. His craftsmanship can be seen in films such as I Vampiri, 1957, which is often considered Italy's first horror film, and Hercules from 1958, directed by Pietro Francisci. Bava's technical prowess extended to special effects, matte paintings, and miniatures, earning him the nickname the Magician of Light. Throughout the 1950s, he worked alongside directors such as Riccardo Freda and became the go-to expert for complex visual sequences, especially those requiring imaginative solutions to budgetary constraints. Mario Bava's transition to directing was serendipitous. When Riccardo Freda walked away from the project I Vampiri, Bava was asked to complete the film, demonstrating his ability to craft tense, atmospheric scenes. Bava's unique style, characterized by vivid colors, elaborate lighting, and surreal set design, shaped the evolution of several cinematic genres. He was instrumental in popularizing the giallo, a unique Italian blend of mystery, horror, and crime that prefigured the modern slasher films. Giallo films established many conventions, stylized violence, intricate plotting, and a voyeuristic sense of menace that would become staples of both Italian and international thrillers. Giallo means yellow, and it fits the style of many crime novels of that era, who generally had yellow covers, hence that's where the name came from. And it led to Il Duce Mussolini to ban these films in true fascist style. Most films allowed under the Italian dictator were light-hearted comedies, and horror was a no-no.
A wonderful explosion that destroys not only my love bombs, but their victims as well.
Now isn't that something? Why don't we divvy it up? You killed a driver. Now I've got to drive this damn thing myself.
Have you the courage to venture beyond the gates of Hades?
No one's ever returned from the realm of the dead.
Although best remembered for his work in horror, Bava's directorial versatility extended to comedies. Dr. Goldfoot and the Girl Bombs, 1966. Westerns, such as Roy Colt and Winchester Jack, from 1970. And even sword and sandal epics, Hercules and the Haunted World, from 1961. In each genre, he imbued his films with a distinct sense of style and wit, often playing with genre conventions and audience expectations. Mario Bava's films are distinguished by their inventive use of color, lighting, and set design. Working with minimal budgets, Bava mastered the art of creating lavish, atmospheric visuals using practical effects and camera tricks. Mario Bava's influence on both Italian and international cinema cannot be overstated. He is often cited as the master of Italian horror, and his work paved the way for directors such as Dario Argento, Lucio Fulci, and John Carpenter. Bava's influence have been celebrated in film festivals worldwide and continue to be studied for their technical innovation and artistic vision. Among his admirers are filmmakers like Quentin Tarantino, Joe Dante, and Martin Scorsese, who have acknowledged Bava's impact on their own work. Mario Bava died on April 27, 1980 in Rome, leaving behind a body of work that continues to captivate and inspire. And now let's look at the top 10 films of Mario Bava. Mario Bava, the Italian master of horror, thriller, and fantasy, is renowned for his atmospheric direction, innovative use of color and lighting, and his profound influence on genre cinema. Here is a selection of 10 of his most iconic and celebrated films. The number 10 film on our list is Shock from 1977.
Mama, I have to kill you. Why, Mama? Why'd you kill Papa?
This was Bava's final film, co-directed with his son Lamberto Bava, and it delivers a potent mix of psychological horror and supernatural scares. Dora Baldini, her husband Bruno, and her son Marco moved to a huge house that belongs to her. She used to live there with Marco and her former husband, a drug addict who committed suicide. The house has stood empty since then, and Bruno, a pilot, has decided that they should move in since it is close to the airport. Soon Marco is possessed by the ghost of his father, and Dora is haunted by the house. She tells Bruno that they need to leave the house, and she is afraid of her son, but he believes she's relapsing since she's had a breakdown. When her husband died, why is the vengeful spirit seeking revenge? The film was released in the USA as Beyond the Door 2, although it has no connection with the Beyond the Door film in 1974. Though this was the last film Mario Bava made, it was not the last film of his that would be released. That honor lies with Rabid Dogs, which was released in 1998.
A woman should live only until her wedding night. Love once, and then die.
The number 9 film on our list is Hatchet for the Honeymoon from 1970, a psychological thriller combining giallo stylings with supernatural overtones and a disorienting narrative. The owner of a designed house busies himself murdering the new brides who have modeled his bridal fashions. When he decides to murder his wife, she becomes the ghost that wouldn't leave. Originally, the script didn't include the character of Mildred Harrington. It was only after Laura Betty expressed interest in working with Bava that the director rewrote the script so that Betty could have a suitable starring role. Laura Betty and Dagmar Lysandra didn't get along very well, with Betty being jealous of Lysandra and treated her very derogatorily.
Well, it is well.
Right. Mommy, Daddy!
The next film on our list is Bay of Blood from 1971, which was also known as Twitch of the Death Nerve. This film is a proto-slasher packed with inventive murders and black humor. An elderly heiress is killed by her husband, who wants control of her fortune. What ensues is an all-out murder spree as relatives and friends attempt to reduce the inheritance playing field. Complicated by some teenagers who decide to camp out in a dilapidated building, the estate. Often considered Mario Bava's most influential film, and the film that started the slasher craze, which is still popular. Many fans of the genre consider this the grandfather of modern slasher film. Friday the 13th and Friday the 13th Part 2 pay homage to this movie by lifting 2 murders from it, one in each movie. Almost shot for shot, the locations in all 3 movies look similar. The original shooting locations for the movie didn't have woods, so Mario Bava created them by setting up tree branches to pass through the camera shots. According to Laura Betty, this trickery would look so silly during shooting that the cast and crew would often laugh hysterically.
Meet Diabolik, a bank Robin Hood who baffles the cops. He robs from the rich to give to the girl.
The next film on the list is Danger Diabolik, a pop art crime caper from 1968. Based on the Italian comic, celebrated for its kinetic energy and wild set design. In psychedelic swinging 60s style, the dreaded thief Diabolik wreaks havoc on a general European country for his own financial gain and amusement. He shares an extravagant underground lair and a giant bed of money with his curvaceous, beautiful girlfriend, who uses her awesome powers to help Diabolik foil gangsters and steal billions from the government. As the anti-hero of the film, Diabolik must face off against bumbling cops and revenge-seeking mafiosa. The film was produced by Dino De Laurentiis, later responsible for the infamously mammoth King Kong and Hurricane. Its $3 million budget was much more than director Mario Bava was used to and enabled him to work with more money and a much more prestigious cast than he normally did. However, he remained true to his principle, relying on imagination rather than money, and brought in the film substantially under budget at a mere $400,000. De Laurentiis was so impressed with Bava, saving him so much money, that he offered Bava the opportunity to make a sequel with the leftover funds. But Bava by then had tired of working with the producer and decided to pass. And this was the featured final episode of Mystery Science Theater 3000 in 1988.
If he had stolen just a little less, I could see her ass right now.
And I'm just one of many beings on this planet. And we're fighting to survive.
It's imperative that our race continue to exist.
We arranged for several of you to kill each other so that we could take over your bodies.
Next film on the list, Planet of the Vampires from 1965, a science fiction horror hybrid featuring inventive visuals and a mood of cosmic dread. In the near future, the two spaceships Argos and Galileo are sent to investigate the mysterious planet Aura. As the Galileo lands on the planet, the crew suddenly go berserk and attack each other. The strange event passes, but the crew soon discovers the crashed Argos and learns that her crew died fighting each other. Investigating further, the explorers come to realize that the existence of a race of bodiless aliens that seek to escape from their dying world. This film marks the first collaboration between Mario Bava and his son, assistant director Lamberto Bava. Lamberto would later become a director himself. At around the 44-minute mark, a crew member is seen saving records. She is using what appears to be a flatbed scanner, which was not invented until 1975, 10 years after this film was made.
Why did you disobey my orders?
I'm scared, Inspector. I have a certain feeling that they'll murder us.
Next film on the list is Kill Baby Kill from 1966, a haunting, dreamlike ghost story, famed for its eerie imagery and surreal atmosphere. Dr. Iswa is called by Inspector Kruger to a small village to perform an autopsy on a woman who died under suspicious circumstances. Despite help from the village witch, Ruth, Kruger is killed, and it is revealed that the dead woman and her villagers were killed by the ghost of Melissa, a young girl who, fed by the hatred of her grieving mother, Baroness Graps, exacted her revenge on them with local nurse Monica. Dr. Iswa is lured into a fateful confrontation at the Villa Graps. 2 weeks into filming, the producers ran out of money. Director Mario Bava and the cast agreed to finish the film without pay. According to a 1985 Bava retrospective written by Tim Lucas for Fangoria in issue number 43, Kill Baby Kill was conceived in part as a bet with American distributors that Bava could complete a film in 12 days. The 30-page script was then penned on the spot.
Stop playing games, will you, Landini? I don't know what you're trying to do, but I know that you're involved in this. Perhaps Nora has seen the killer, but how do we know that he hasn't seen her?
The next film on our list is The Girl Who Knew Too Much from 1963. Often cited as the first true giallo film, the stylish thriller is a playful homage to Hitchcockian suspense. A runaway truck containing the corpse of a slain gang leader rolls into a California nightclub owned by Johnny Kane, hard-bitten former freelance adventurer. The gang threatens to kill Johnny unless he solves the murder. The CIA also investigates because it turns out that the slaying was part of a long-range communist plan to take over the crime syndicate. Kane's search for clues leads him into a maze of beautiful girls, mysterious oriental statues, and murderous spies. Although unrelated to Mario Bava's earlier Italian film, translation, The Girl Who Knew Too Much, Lyon's film pays homage to Bava's in several important respects. The chief cast of this Italian film play bit parts or cameos in the U.S. film. Letitia Roman is a flower seller in the underground scene, and actor Dante DiPialo appears as Dr. Hims. Neither has a speaking part, although Roberto Calvi, who plays a tramp, does speak English briefly.
Listen, Frank. I have found a diary. Isabella's diary.
Isabella hasn't turned up again.
Inspector Sylvester, Countess Christina Como, the owner of our salon.
The next film on our list is Blood and Black Lace from 1964. And that's a pioneering giallo that set the template for the genre, fusing stylized violence with striking visual design. Most of the male characters were dubbed by Paul Frees for the American release of this film, including Cameron Mitchell. Evidently, the Woolner brothers couldn't be bothered to bring him in to loop his own lines. Due to the film's low budget, Mario Bava mounted the camera on a child's wagon and used that for tracking shots. This film was a disappointment at the box office, not even breaking the 100 top-grossing films of that year in Italy, but has since developed a cult following. For its original release in America, the distributors disliked Bava's opening credits that showed the cast pose around the salon in a series of creative tracking shots. The distributors had new opening credits made that showed a series of macabre animations of mannequins being shot. While shooting the scene where Peggy's body falls out of the car trunk, a painful mishap occurred. Despite Bava's repeated warnings to Lee Lander in rehearsals that the trunk lid must be opened fully before she reached to the dead body, in the first take the trunk lid wasn't opened far enough and the lid slammed back down, striking Mary Arden painfully in the nose, narrowly missing her eyes. She was in shock and sobbing uncontrollably. Bava immediately halted the filming and quickly carried Miss Arden inside the house to comfort her while others tended to her injuries. It took a couple of hours for her to calm down. The mishap would leave a scar on Miss Arden's nose, and years later she joked that doing that film almost literally killed her.
You always did have a beautiful body. Beautiful. A body to drive someone crazy.
Who are you?
Next film on the list, Black Sabbath from 1963. An influential horror anthology that showcases Bava's versatility, blending supernatural chills with psychological tension. It's also where the heavy metal band got their name, in case you didn't know that. A trio of atmospheric horror tales. A woman is terrorized in her apartment by phone calls from an escaped prisoner from her past. A Russian count in the early 1800s stumbles upon a family in the countryside trying to destroy a particularly vicious line of vampires. Also, a 1900-era nurse who makes a fateful decision while preparing the corpse of one of her patients, who was an elderly medium, who died during a seance. This is the only film in which horror icon Boris Karloff plays a vampire. There are two very different versions of Black Sabbath, Mario Bava's original Italian cut and the American International Pictures cut. In order to make the film more marketable to Western audiences, AIP changed Boris Karloff's introduction, rearranged the order of the stories, gave the film a whole new score, and even re-edited several scenes. AIP made the most substantial changes by the plot of The Telephone by removing all implications of lesbianism and prostitution, replacing them with a supernatural element. The two versions also have very different looks, the Italian cut being the brighter and more vibrant of the two. Blu-ray sold in Europe offers both cuts as well as a bevy of special features, while in North America the two cuts can be purchased separately and the extra features included are sparse. Quentin Tarantino cites this as one of his biggest influences, especially on Pulp Fiction.
Asa, daughter of the house of Vida, cover her face with the mask of Satan.
And the number one film on our list is Black Sunday from 1960. It's known as La Massacre del Demonio. This gothic horror classic launched Bava's career as a director and remains a touchstone of atmospheric terror. The sets were designed in monochrome, absent of all color, to add to the dark mood. Over 200 years after being executed for being a witch and a vampire, Princess Asa Vaja is resurrected when two travelers Professor Thomas Kruvazhin and Dr. Andrei Gorobek accidentally disturb her abandoned tomb. At the time of her execution, the princess swore vengeance against her accuser, her brother, and all of his descendants. She quickly resurrects her lover and turns Kruvazhin into her vampire servant. When she learns that the present-day Princess Katya is identical to her, she sets out to get control of the young woman. A young girl is sent out at night to milk a cow. When Javuto claws his way out of the grave nearby, the young girl is played by Dominici's real-life daughter, Germana Dominici. Richard Donner modeled the whole cemetery scene in The Omen from 1976 on this scene where Barbara Steele appears in the graveyard with her hounds. Several scenes were recreated specifically for Francis Ford Coppola's interpretation of Dracula in 1992 as an homage to Bava's film. In its day, this was considered to be unnecessarily gruesome and indeed was banned in the UK until 1968. Even then, it was heavily cut. The full uncut version wasn't released in Britain until 1992. And in the October 17-23, 1998 edition of TV Guide, director Tim Burton says this is his favorite horror film. Through these films and many others, Mario Bava helped shape the landscape of modern horror and thriller cinema. His works are celebrated for their artistry, inventiveness, and enduring influence on generations of filmmakers and cinephiles. What do you think? Are you a fan of his movies? What's your favorite movie from Mario Bava? Is there any movies that you think should have been on this list that we did not include? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments section below. And while you're at it, I'd be honored if you subscribe to my channel. Click the little bell to stay informed. Share this video, as that will help me grow on YouTube as well. Until next time, this is Kevin Givens saying, live long and prosper. May the force be with you and keep reaching for the stars.